Hey, everybody. Welcome to Both Sides of the Mic, his and hers, the show where we are trying to give you both sides of the story. I am Brandon, your podcast resident straight shooter with the girly touch. And this is my friend Will bringing that masculine logic. So you guys don't think I'm just out here yelling into the void. I really wanted to build this space because I feel like relationships are hard as hell naturally, and nobody really gives you the playbook. So, from life experience, common sense, and just common sense. We're here to break it down. The male mind, female heart, all the glorious chaos and bullshit in between. So you can stop repeating the same cycles and actually heal the thing that you're in. Quick PSA, if you guys have not taken your Omega blood test from me yet, why? Okay. This is literally your cellular receipts, mood, inflammation, cravings, brain fog. All of it starts there. So I need you to test and don't guess. Okay. You need these numbers if you want your life and your relationships to stop feeling like a dumpster fire. So today's topic, you guys, I think we gave you a little teaser last week, is going to be narcissism. How are you, Will? Darling, hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. A little slow
Good.
going, but I'm moving
I
through
feel
the
you.
motions today. Moving
Yeah,
through
no, I
them.
had to do a training meeting this morning and it was from 9:30 to 11:30 and I said, "Nah, I got to stop at
Oh
11.
shit.
Sorry." so,
That's
so
hilarious.
we stopped about 20 minutes early so I could haul butt across town to get back home to get this recorded. So,
Are these, see, he made you guys a priority. I love that. Are these the kind of meetings that they can send an email, but they don't? And so you just sit there and you're like, oh,
no, they're more like training sessions, building
oh,
relationships with customers and things like that.
so
We've been
necessary
doing
evils. Gotcha.
doing some added values in each of our facilities and just wanting to get input and see how it's all going you
Yeah.
know so
Nice. How was your
but yeah,
week?
good.
Yeah.
Good.
You hesitated. Is everything
So
okay?
yeah, I'm trying to think about it's everything's been such a blur. Been really working on the house a lot. We got our coffee nooks in all of our facilities for our customers come in for a free cup of coffee. So I've been running back and forth to all five of those facilities all week long, getting everything set up for them decorating it, answering questions, helping them out with this, helping them out with that. One of the kids are my son Tucker. He's in basketball.
Nice.
This is mine and their mother's first sport, besides cross country, that we
You're
all meet up
co-parenting
and
through.
that we're co-parenting to go do. Yeah. So, and
Nice.
it's been awesome. So I watched Tucker. His first game was on Monday, and they won 6-5 on a 20-minute game. So it was,
Okay.
I called it organized chaos or unorganized chaos,
Right.
for a bunch of fourth graders. And but he scored a point, and I was like,
Oh, go
yeah,
Tucker.
he made a basket, so that was awesome. And then
Nice.
the game yesterday they tied, so they
Very
tied 18
nice.
to 18. So they played their butts off. So that was awesome.
Yeah. I'm in
So
that bittersweet, like I get excited for the kids, but I am so effing bored. 90% of the time, I'm like, oh my God, is this over yet? And I'm going to be honest, I feel like softball's probably been the hardest to sit through. So
yeah, I can
volleyball
see
hasn't
that.
been so bad. It goes pretty fast.
There's a lot of action in
Yeah,
volleyball and
it
basketball, I
it
think, and
goes
maybe
fast.
even football. Yeah, it goes pretty
Basketball,
fast.
little kids, I still am like, oh my gosh. But as they get older, I'm sure it gets better. My
Well,
favorite,
they're
my son did football, and I was just like, man, I want more of that. Like that,
yeah,
I got into that, but
yeah,
go figure. Go
right.
figure. It's that
5 minute
the
quarters for the little
violence.
guys.
Yeah.
It goes
All
by
right,
pretty
you
quick.
guys, let's get into this today because number one, I'm going to hit a few topics here today because I feel like this, I have a Listen Bitch podcast. Okay. Almost 500 episodes. I do a lot of like polling my people through email and just my friends, like give me a topic. Narcissism, all of this is probably the number one request I get for podcast episodes. I knew we were
Yeah,
going to hit it on the show. I feel like we're probably going to hit it more than once because there's so much to cover, but I feel like narcissism it's overused. This is like a trendy blame shift word because if you can slap narcissist on anyone who hurt your feelings, like suddenly you're the victim, they're the villain, and you never have to self-reflect again. It is like that microwave mentality, emotional fast food.
Yeah. This
And
is the problem right here, and
yeah,
it's your fault.
yeah. And I mean, social media, we know that social media loves labels. So all of a sudden, TikTok has turned actual psychological disorders into hashtags, right? We've
I
got
feel like
narcissist, empath, toxic,
social media
gaslighting.
is like the petri dish for all of these things that
Hmm.
people just want to gravitate to, and
Yeah,
then it grows, and then they find they can take and um have something inside that petri dish
right,
that reminds them of the issue that they're dealing with or whatnot, and then it's
right,
automatically labeled. Oh, that's
right,
what it is. It's
right.
narcissism.
Yeah.
Or
And
whatever it may
you guys,
be.
real narcissism is super rare. Like it is a very rare thing. Okay. I'm going to make that very clear right now. So your past three boyfriends weren't fucking narcissists. Okay. I'm going to make that very clear. But what I will say is common is just that narcissistic behavior. Like nobody's walking around clinical narcissists, okay? But a lot of people, let's be honest, they have selfish patterns, poor communication, zero accountability, or like that trauma driven coping, which will look like narcissism from the outside, you know? And we all have those tendencies. I have been selfish. I've been terrible at communication. I've been the person that wouldn't take accountability. You know, all my coping has been trauma driven. So yeah, if someone looking from the outside is gonna be like, "Oh, she's a narcissist," you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you've been called a
Oh,
narcissist.
yeah.
Four
I yeah,
ex-wives. I
they,
mean,
it, there's only one common denominator there, Brandon.
yeah, I know.
This guy right
I know.
here.
I know.
Right? Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. If you can pick one thing off of a list of narcissistic traits, I'm sure I have one. And I'm sure honestly, you can probably find one trait. Everybody can find one trait on there, and then you're like, oh shoot, I'm a narcissist.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't mean that you're a narcissist.
Well, maybe I should just do a disclaimer for you for your ex-wives. There's four of them. You can just send them a little email and be like, "Please listen to this episode." Four is a lot. I'm not going to lie. That would take a lot of time today.
So I know I've got issues.
I just want to say calling someone a narcissist is easier than saying like they hurt me, will hurt me.
Yeah,
Or it's easier to say Will's a narcissist rather than saying I ignored the red flags. Like
yeah,
everywhere you go, there you are. And if you can't admit like we were incompatible, I didn't have boundaries. Like it's hard to take massive responsibility for who you are when you're showing up in a relationship. I love blaming everybody else. It was easy for me because all of a sudden like it's not on you anymore and you're a victim and then the whole world feels sorry for you. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Will is such an asshole. Oh,
yeah.
he's so mean.
Yeah.
Like nobody I just feel like I'm gonna stick up for you there, buddy. We know you're not clinically narcissist.
Anyone who actually knows me knows I'm not
Right.
that. Uh,
No.
I'm good at a lot of things, and I've said to myself not too long ago, I'm good at a lot of things, but I really have sucked at relationships and the values and that but what's cool is I recognized it. I'm
Yeah.
like I've made so many damn mistakes in all of these relationships that I've been in, but I recognized it, and that's my
Yeah.
point. Is since I recognized it, I can work on those things personally that I've done wrong,
Yep.
and try to right those wrongs.
And
And
that
and
honestly, you guys, I hope you recognize that in Will. Like to see, like from day one since we've come on the show, he's probably taken more responsibility for stuff than I ever have. And like that's my everyday go-to where I just want to take massive
well,
responsibility.
you're not ever wrong. So
Right, exactly. Tell that to my ex-husband. No. It's but like I love that you have taken that responsibility. It's that's it. I fucked up. This didn't work out. I'm here now. I'm going to be the best version of myself, and we
Yeah.
move on. And here's the thing, you guys understand, like a real narcissist isn't going to wonder if they're a narcissist. Like you're never going to question that. So if you're there questioning yourself because people have called you that, my current in-laws actually, um they have nothing to do with us. And part of their problem is that they think I'm a massive narcissist for whatever reason. It's one of those things, like their son and brother isn't very like he just likes to be in his own space. Like my husband is very like in my bubble, in my routine. And so he's not the kid that's like calling his mom. He's not calling his sister. He's not like, "Hey, let's get together." Like I have to drag him to family events. I've always been the one to make him go. Um, so he's never really cared, but it's always kind of been the blame is on me, right? And
Yeah.
I take that. Like it's fine. You know, Brandon's busy. Brandon has to work. Brandon, it's of course he's going to use me. I'm the only person in his life. So I think at some point there was just like this funneling of like everything was kind of put on me. And I really did question. I'm like, man, am I a narcissist? Because I really thought I'm getting married. I'm gonna, you guys, I didn't grow up with a family. I'm like, I'm getting married. I'm gonna have this great family. I thought his mom was great. His family was great. And I was like, yeah, like I'm really
Yeah.
gonna have a family. My kids are gonna have a family. And yeah, no, now I'm just a narcissist and we haven't seen him for years. So, I had to process that. And
Funny how you can be opinionated and stick up for yourself and be your own
yes,
self. And now it's a fault. It's
exactly. Exactly.
How is
And
that a
that's,
fault?
here's the truth, Brandon Lynette, right? There's a part of me that has those narcissistic tendencies because I do get busy playing the lead actor in my own life. Like this is my life. Of course I'm going to be like the star of the show, right? So Brandon is going to be loud and have a podcast. She's going to be vocal on social media. She's not going to sugarcoat stuff. Like the minute they acted squirrely, I made it public. I didn't care. Like
Yeah.
this is you
It's
don't
it's
don't yeah.
it's who you are.
Yeah,
How boring would the world be if everyone was the exact same?
right. I
Oh my,
agree. I
we would
agree.
all have podcasts. We would all
Yeah.
be in our basements. We would all be.
Uh-huh. Yep.
No, we're all different, and there's nothing wrong with diversity.
Yep. I agree.
So,
But I know it is hard like when you're dealing with someone, who is calling you a narcissist. I know it gets exhausting because it's going to be like every disagreement is you're a narcissist, right? And I want you guys to understand they're not bringing insight to your life. That's emotional warfare. Like they want to shut you up. They want to shut themselves. They want to shut you up and shut you down. And like the people that are calling you a narcissist, they want to be the righteous one. So if they can be the one that didn't make an error, it somehow makes them, it's that false superiority complex, right? Like people tear people down to give themselves a false sense of self-esteem, like I'm better or whatever. It's one of those toxic things, and if you're constantly labeling someone in your life, that's you're lacking accountability. Unhealthy
yeah,
people are going to be like, you're a narcissist because
we're going to have listeners that have been called narcissist or labeled as a narcissist,
yeah.
and then we're also going to have them that label or call people narcissist.
Yes.
Where it's both sides of the mic.
And I'm just saying, if you're doing this,
Yeah,
if you're doing this, your unhealed version is showing. Like we can all
yeah,
see it. It's very obvious. You are refusing to take responsibility for your part in the bullshit. Like if you can watch your ex, like say, you know, anybody, like even my husband. I mean, I imagine he probably dated other people before me. I won't ever admit it because I feel like I'm the one and only. But I imagine if someone was ever serious in a relationship with him and they saw who he was now, they would have a lot to say because he is not the same person that I met. And anybody that ever, any of his friends, any acquaintances that ever talked to me about him, especially when we first started dating, they would say these things and I'm like, wow, we're not talking about the same person. we're just not. That I don't know who you're talking about. That is not my husband. And it's been that same way for 50, 11 years, however long we've been together. It's just been that constant, like nobody knows him. And I love that for him because his whole point was he lived and he learned and he came here different. So
It's and the funny thing is that's life, you know.
yeah,
And I feel like a non-narcissist, they see their faults and things that they have done, and not just faults, but good things and bad things. You learn from them. It's all a part of life. It's all a part of growing.
yeah,
Um, the narcissist wants to keep you down, keep you back, live in
always.
the past, wants to keep
Hmm.
you under that thumb. I don't know if it's a control thing as well, but in their mind, you have not changed. You will never change. You've always been this person. You'll always be that person. And there's no room for growth. And they
Right.
don't want to hear it from you. You know,
No,
and honestly, they don't deserve it. They don't need to
no,
hear it from you. They,
absolutely not.
not no they don't need to. So those that have recognized things that have, you know,
Yeah.
struggled past or whatnot, and you have
Hmm.
made those changes, keep going with your bad self. It
Right.
doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Hmm.
You're going to have those naysayers that are going to want to keep you down and want to keep that thumb on you and keep that control of you, and it makes them feel good. That's
Yeah.
part of being a narcissist, keeping
Right.
you down.
Yeah.
And the best thing in for my own experiences is water off a duck's back. And as
Yeah.
easy, it sounds like it's easy, but it's not. So, you know, Branden, how do you deal with that? How do you? I know what I've done, but how do you deal with the, you know, you making changes in your life and dealing with that narcissist on a daily?
I mean, people are going to keep coming back. And this is, I guess, the only situation because there's, if you are an ex in my life, you are in the past. There is no like, let's stay friends, let's whatever. Like, if you're done, that's it, you're done. What makes that complicated is the co-parenting situation. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you dated someone and you had to deal with this, you don't share babies, like done. Boundaries set up, stop going back. Like at some point you kind of get what you sign up for, right? Like that's what happens. The co-parenting situation, this is where it gets really hard and boundaries have to be very strict because I feel like, say I, this is a scenario because this isn't happening. But if my ex-husband was constantly like, ooh, Branden, I heard you on Listen Bitch and you're talking about this and boundaries in a relationship and you don't do this, or, he comes on here and he listens to the kind of wife I am with my husband. He's like, you were never this and all these things. Co-parenting, I can't just block him, right? But I can stop responding.
Yeah.
And I think that's an
And
incredible boundary of
That's
just,
that's the key, and I am absolutely guilty. I'm just gonna, you know, keep on with my own faults here,
yeah,
from a few minutes ago. I am absolutely guilty of continuing the conversation because you want to defend yourself. You want to
right.
take those wrongs that you're being accused of and try to make them right. You know what? It doesn't matter.
No,
There's no way you're ever going to win it. All you're
no.
doing is feeding the fire for them to continue the argument.
You
The
cannot
best thing,
explain yourself to someone
no,
committed to misunderstanding you.
no, you, no matter how right you try to make
Hmm.
things, you can go to a monastery and become a priest, and you're still you're still wrong.
Right. And
You've
that's,
completely given your life to
yeah.
God and be celibate for the rest of your life,
And you're
and you're
still full of
still
shit because of
wrong.
the 2 years you spent with me, Will. You're full of shit. I
You're
saw who
you're
you
you're
were.
garbage. You're
Yeah.
still nobody. It does.
No.
So the best thing is ignoring those comments.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a co-parenting situation, the best thing to do is just make it about the kids,
Kids
answer
only.
questions about the kids, and that's
Yep.
it. That's it. Even if they want
Yeah.
to talk about other stuff, I don't even read it. I don't even
Yeah.
care. It's just done. It's
I couldn't imagine having to deal with someone on a personal level still coming at me with personal things. Like it would be exhausting. And not just for me personally to open it and read it, but like for that person to be so wrapped up in like wanting you to be the bad guy, you know? Like
I
It's
will
true.
forever
You
be the bad guy.
you can hand them
I
a
know this.
notarized psychological evaluation, they're still going to twist it. But the point is you cannot logic your way out of emotional quicksand.
No.
You have to set the hard boundary. Like there will be no real conversation ever. No monologue, no TED Talks, just boundary. That's it.
Yeah. And the only person that can set that is you.
Yeah.
You have to not associate yourself in
Yeah.
those conversations,
Yeah.
you know.
And you guys know,
It's
like narcissists, it's not just that they're selfish or rude or loud or confident or dramatic or irritating. Wow, I did just list a lot of my traits, didn't I? A real narcissist is someone who's like
we're on there.
entire personality structure is built on a fragile ego that has to constantly be protected at all costs. Like they can never be the bad guy. And I actually genuinely, okay, I was bartending for a while and I have a boss that is a real narcissist. Like I guarantee if he went, he would be diagnosed, because it was always about his ego. And that was his whole identity is based on his ego, that people love him and it doesn't matter who he hurts or what's happening. Like it is a very, he would never even consider that he was a narcissist. He just thinks he's a nice guy and everybody loves him. So understand that this is really, there will be no accountability ever. They're never going to say like I reacted wrong, you know. I mean, ever have any of because it takes two people to kind of tank a marriage, truly. So, has anybody ever come to you and said like maybe I reacted wrong? I could have handled that better. I see your point. Like has anybody taken that responsibility?
in I believe it has. I think in some points, one way or the other.
Yeah.
I would also have to say in my situation, I have put blame on it and said, well, that's not my fault, and not really
Right.
thinking about and holding my own self accountable. So I think it would go both ways. I think both parties have at some point listened one
Yeah.
way or the other. But it's sometimes that's a tough one.
Right.
I think at some point some have listened, both back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else than
Yeah.
that.
No, I get
At
it.
some point they
Well, do
have.
you
Yeah.
have kids with all four ex-wives?
No.
Okay. So how
No.
many do you still have to co-parent with on some level?
I have a soon to be 17-year-old, and then four. So five total.
Okay. So there's only
And
two really that would ever have any reason to still have anything to do with you because you share babies, right?
yeah. Yeah. The 17-year-old, she has her own phone and stuff, and
Right.
we chat all the time about things and share pictures and what's going on in life and things like that. And now that she has her driver's license, she actually came out and visited me. I thought
Nice.
that she's like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And I'm like, "It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon." I'm like, "Oh, we're just working around the house." She's like, "I was really wanting to come out and visit." And
Right.
my younger boys love her to death, and they were actually just asking me that day, "Hey, when are we going to see Madeline?" And I didn't say anything
Yeah.
because Madeline had just told me she was coming out. And she pulls up, and they're looking out the window like, "Who's that?" And it was her. So she came out
That's
for dinner
cute.
and then drove home, but had a great time. But the yeah, so then yeah, just the other just two that I associate with. So
Right, with co-parenting. Well, that has to make it a
co-parenting.
little bit easier, I would say, because it is, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't
Yeah, as they get,
imagine.
well, you have older children as well, so
Yeah.
it's easier because you can just talk to them one on one and don't have to talk to the parent
Actually,
and
the older
whatnot.
they're getting, I've actually had to talk to the parent.
Oh,
It
do
was
you?
easy when they were little because it was just that was it. But now, actually, there have been moments for the first time in 50, 11 years, like we've actually had to talk. Two
Oh,
two conversations in the past 3 weeks.
my
Like,
20 my
Yeah.
oldest is married. My 22 lives with me, and then the 19-year-old, he lives with his mom, but he's, obviously out of high school and he's a corrections officer. But we all just chat. I don't really have, I don't really communicate with their mom unless there's some kind of
Right.
event happening or whatever, and we have to talk about that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
other than that, you know, um,
Right.
nothing other than that. But yeah, yeah.
Well, if you guys are questioning, like, I don't know, am I with a narcissist? Um, I want you to think about like the beginning of your relationship, because I feel like when you're with a narcissist, the beginning of a relationship is going to feel very unreal because they're going to come in hot. Love bombing. I feel like now I'm talking about my husband, okay? Because literally the first night I met him, we were getting married. So, love bombing, over the top affection, you are my soulmate, you're different. And like they mirror you so perfect that it is magical because they're studying you, they're not loving you. Um, Another thing too, I feel like if you're with a narcissist, you're going to be walking on eggshells. So like you're going to monitor the tone of your voice. Like you're going to watch your words, you're going to watch your emotions because one wrong move means that you're getting a silent treatment or there's going to be a meltdown or there's going to be a guilt trip. Um and this is something I want you guys, if you're going to get anything from this episode, I want you to understand healthy love is steady. Narcissistic love is volatile. And if you're in a
Sure.
relationship, yeah, if you're in a relationship where everything is your fault always, even their behavior is somehow your responsibility. You made me act like this. You're always too emotional, you're too sensitive, you're too needy, you're too dramatic. Like if they aren't taking accountability for anything, you need to run. And they're going to constantly rewrite reality and it's going to make you think you're going fucking crazy. Because if something doesn't happen or if something happens that doesn't fit their narrative, they're going to deny it or twist it or create a new version. So this is called
Oh yeah.
gaslighting. You're going to start questioning your
That
own
that's what
memory.
gaslighting. I've heard the
Yeah.
term, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a lot of situations turned around, and I don't have no idea what you're talking about. And that's not my version of it. This was what I'm
Yeah.
telling you is the truth. No, that's your truth.
Yeah.
That's not how I saw it whatsoever, and that is not the truth.
Did I just uncover a secret narcissist past in Will's life? Like, are you like, wow, this is my life? I could not talk, I could not speak, I was love
I,
bombed.
I yeah, maybe I'm not going to point fingers. I just
Oh man, that's so
hitting the
funny.
moonshine already, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Cheers. Cheers. You
I'm just
can't see
kidding.
the hint of blue through the camera, but it's in
Right.
there, guys. Pure gasoline.
101 octane. That's funny. No, yeah, no, I've experienced that. Um,
Yeah.
not anyone specific or anything like that, but it's just you
She
in
knows who
fact,
she is. No, I'm just
you,
kidding.
you know who you are. Yeah, it's just the changing of stories, the
Yeah.
the the constant blame, living in the past, changing stories from the past, constantly pointing fingers, and it can be years and years down the road, and it just continually just I just turn it off. I'm like, I've
Yeah.
moved on. I've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live my life in the past. And if you're hurt, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself that because you got to hold some kind of accountability for your own self and your own
Yeah.
actions. And if you're choosing to continue to be a victim, that's out of my control. And
Yeah.
honestly, there's nothing I can do about that. That's you're the one that has to pick up the pieces and try to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm an asshole or anything like that. It's just you can't do that. And I'll find
Right.
myself end up divorced quicker than shit if I bought into that stuff. And I don't
Right.
want to get divorced again. I don't want that crap. I feel like I'm doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Um, but
I mean, bottom line, like we are not responsible for anyone else's feelings.
no,
So
Yeah.
if there's this off chance, which I know none of our exes are listening to this because that would
Or
be just
emotions.
fucking weird. We are not responsible for your emotions. We're not responsible for your feelings. We're not responsible for your perspective. Like everybody has to grow the fuck up and realize like no one's coming to save you. So you can be a victim and cry about it, and life's going to pass you by, and you're going to be full of regrets. And the one villain in your life is still going to keep growing and rising. Like you're giving power to something that doesn't even exist. That's it. The past is the past. And I think one of the coolest things about personal growth is there's always going to be someone trying to drag you back to the version of you that kept them feeling comfortable. When people see people grow, it scares the fuck out of them because you're suddenly a mirror to what's possible. And when people could see, oh, I can change, but they're too fucking lazy, they're too self absorbed, they're too, well, I don't even know what you would call it, pathetic. Like if you cannot step into the power and potential of your own growth, but you want to drag people down so you don't have to grow, so you can feel comfortable, it's a very scary thing, especially like if you are co-parenting with someone who is fucked like this, your kids become weaponized. And I know we talked about weaponizing kids in the first
Mhm.
episode, but
Yeah.
that's what happens. And the version I'm going to tell you guys, because I've watched this in my life personally, I promise you that kids will always see the truth. There were so many like I would cry as a parent because I felt like I had to be the bad guy, or there was a lot of scenarios that I went through that the truth just came out, where it's like I wanted to tell them what this person was like, what they did, and I bit my tongue the whole time. I didn't have to say a word, and my kids start to see the reality of who people are. They will always fucking see through your bullshit. Kids are magic like that.
If you
They will
be the
see
true
through it.
you,
Yeah.
absolutely being the true you,
Hmm.
being that safe space for them,
Yeah.
having that organization and the constant routine,
Yeah.
they'll see right through it, and that you don't have to say anything. And honestly, you shouldn't say
Right.
anything. You shouldn't try to
No.
weaponize your children against each other.
Narcissists
Absolutely not.
will. They
Yeah,
absolutely will. And
over and
that's an
over.
unfortunate thing. So I say
Yeah.
you have to protect your boundaries extra, especially if you're the parent, if you're co-parenting with someone who's a narcissist and you have kids. Like your job is to stay just vigilant and massive responsibility for you and how you feel and who you are with your kids, because they will see the truth. They're going to hear the opposite, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I would never weaponize my kids, so I can't relate to, especially a woman. Like, we are the number one protector of our kids. And if you're mentally manipulating kids, like, fuck you. Like, that's the lowest of the low. I would have no respect for anybody that's going to try to weaponize kids. And I get it. Like, I went through this process of, I thought, my son's dad was dating someone. I guess it was serious. She like was at one of their baseball games, and I was genuinely excited. I'm like, man, this is going to be an extra person that loves my kid. There wasn't one part of me that was like, fuck that. Who's this bitch? Like, you can't be different with her than you were with me. And like, who? No,
Yeah.
it's about
They
none of that. This is, wow, someone great is coming in to love my kids. It's the same thing with my husband now. We've been together for 11 years. I think it's like 15, you guys. I don't know.
I get my
Um,
stupid camera.
that's so
keeps
funny.
keep zooming in.
That is funny.
No, and I had that conversation not too long ago. I said I would rather have somebody in my children's life who is a supportive step parent,
Yeah.
that is there and loving and caring and wants to be there, than somebody who doesn't give two shits, doesn't want anything to do with those kids,
Yeah.
and just and kind of writes them off. But yeah, on the flip side, I get well, you're just you and her are just trying to take them from me. Like, no, no, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to. We're just being supportive for the kids. It's about the kids, and that it's
Wow.
not about taking anybody from you. It's not about any of that. It's just, hey, you know what? I
Yeah.
grew up, and I had my sports that I like to do. I had baseball and football, and I think I can count on one hand how many times my parents showed up. You
Right.
know, and
Same.
that's honestly, that's really sad. That's really, really sad. So get off yourself, get over yourself, I should say,
Yeah.
and just realize that we're there to support the child. We're not
Yeah.
there to, for anything other than
Stop
that.
making everything about you. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's not
Stop
all about
making it
you.
about you.
It's about the
That's it.
child and being there and rooting for them and cheering them
Yeah.
on. It's like,
Yeah.
God, if it's not one thing,
Grow
it's
up,
another.
kids. Grow up. But like if you guys are struggling with that narcissist are either side of this, you know what I mean? Like there's a point where you have to get really honest with your own patterns. And it's not because you caused it, right? Like maybe your ex-husband is really a douchebag. You didn't cause that, but you still need to understand why the fuck you tolerated it. Like if you're going to go around bashing someone about how terrible of a person they are, it's also saying a lot about you. Like why'd you tolerate this? So you need to heal the part of you that's allowing someone to just constantly make you feel disrespected and underappreciated. And if you're staying in a marriage where you feel like this, there is a point. You didn't cause it, you didn't ask for it, but you are tolerating it. So it's one of those things of like we have choices. And I used to say this, my boss's wife all the time, he's a narcissist, but they've been married for 15 years and I'm like, bitch, you know who he is. Like you can leave at any time. No one
Yeah.
is set in stone to be there. So I everyone's always like, I feel so sorry for her. I'm like, I don't. She's fucking choosing.
So okay, you just said you can leave at any time. So
Yeah.
a lot of our listeners may have an issue with living or leaving a narcissist. How do you do it? You get trapped. You feel trapped anyways. You can feel trapped in a situation, and it's emotional and verbal warfare
Right.
between you and the other person. How do you get out of it?
Well, first you have to recognize. You have to recognize the core pattern. So, what is this? Are you here because you're a people pleaser? Are you here because you're trauma bonded? Are you here because of fear of abandonment? Are you here because you have this overdeveloped sense of empathy? Are you here because, you have low self worth and low self esteem? So, if you can get to the bottom of that, of asking yourself that, then you can start to rebuild your identity because that's what happens. If you're with someone who it's not just about a broken heart, they literally take your identity. But like if you cut the cord completely, like be done. No contact, low contact, that's non-negotiable so you can heal and not still be eating the poison that broke you, right? And I'm not like saying this has to be dramatic. This is literally for your survival. You have to forgive yourself. Step number 1, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know. Like you didn't see the manipulation coming. I get that. You didn't understand the cycles. I get that. You didn't know the signs. Okay. You weren't supposed to because a narcissist, their job is to hide that for a living. That's what they do. So I would say step number 1, forgiving yourself is the most important step. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
it's also an emotional and mental breakdown that you have to recognize as well. So getting away from it is not easy. You have to recognize, who was I before this?
right,
Did I have a high self-esteem and now I'm nothing?
right.
Now I'm more dependent than interdependent. Um, you know, the huge thing, like you said, is the recognition, and
Yeah,
then what do I do?
right,
And what's the situation as well? Do we have children together?
right,
Does he have my CDs in his truck? Like,
right,
what
right.
I mean? Like, get him
Yeah,
out and get the hell out of there, or
yeah,
her. It doesn't matter, him or her. It could be anybody, and being a narcissist isn't just labeled to men; it's women as well.
exactly.
You know, it's
Exactly.
it's both of us. So,
I agree with that. If you had to give men one piece of advice on this, what would it be?
um, number one, be okay. You said one piece of advice:
Yeah.
follow your heart. Who are you in your core being? Don't
Yeah.
change yourself for anybody else. Don't try to be something that you're not, that ends up becoming resentment. And it just causes more issues. And I know I've said more than one, but there's a lot of ones
Well, how important is it in a relationship, especially because I feel like we said in the beginning, kind of everyone has these narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
So how important is self-love and just having that good self-esteem in the beginning of a relationship? Like
It's number
I
one,
yeah,
or don't do it. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else.
right,
Don't put those expectations on your partner to uh, make you happy, to make you love yourself, to give you something that you don't have.
right,
Because I'm going to tell you right now, that person is going to fail you. And then what
right,
will happen is you're going to blame them for the unhappiness, for and everything. You're going to blame them for everything because you're counting on them for all of those positives in your life. That's
right.
too much pressure to put on somebody. You have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. You have to. Or you're just it's just not going to work.
Right.
You're not going to be able to give your full self to somebody else unless you take that time and figure out who you are, what you want out of life, and do you love yourself, and can I give my full self to that person
Right. Do
and
you
still
think
love myself in the
yeah,
process? you know,
do you think that a narcissist is they look for that prey, like for someone with a low self-esteem that can be manipulated? Do you think that is an intentional move? Do you think they have that awareness
it's
that
easy. It's easier if you have somebody that's strong-willed,
yeah.
opinionated, tells it how it. If you have Brandon,
Look at Wilson. I'm like, he's explaining me. I love it.
they're going to have a harder time
Yeah.
breaking those walls down
Right.
and in manipulating,
Yep.
in trying to break that individual. But if you can find somebody who's weak, it's a lot easier.
And when you have
A
two
lot
people
easier.
with low self-esteems, what is that doing to a relationship?
It's yeah, yeah. No, that happens.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, have you struggled with some like what is the man's perspective of being someone with a low self being with someone that has a low self-esteem? Because I do feel like low self-esteem people, not necessarily like low IQ people, but low self-esteem especially are going to throw around narcissists like crazy because they don't have like the emotional intelligence and the bandwidth to actually step back, look at the big picture, take responsibility, figure out who they are, because I was the person, you guys. I was the person that was everyone. I was what I thought everybody wanted me to be my whole life. And
Mhm.
and that obviously that's from trauma. My mom signed her rights off on
Yeah,
me when I was 12. So yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I have to be who everybody wants me to be, or I'm gonna get left, you know.
yeah,
I was never myself until now. And that's I guess that's why I don't care about past relationships because that wasn't fucking me anyway. I don't know. I don't lose sleep over it. I don't care. It's, it's in the past. But
right. Low self-esteem relationships where both partners have low self-esteem.
yeah,
That's hard. Neither one of you have the capability of bringing each other up, and you're counting on each
right.
other to bring each other up. You're counting on each other to make each other happy. You're both looking for the same thing in the relationship that neither one of you can
Can
provide.
handle.
Yeah, and you're asking something from somebody who does not have currently, and I'm not saying that they can never has that capability to be able to lift you up.
Right.
Nor is it that person's responsibility to do that. We just said that, so
From a male's
it's
perspective,
hard.
how exhausting is it to be with someone that has a low self esteem?
It's exhausting. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
You can tell an individual that they're beautiful. You can do a million things for them or ask them to do a million things. You can say, hey, why don't you go out with the girls tonight? And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that has anything to do with the self-esteem, but it's just, time to get away. And then they just don't want to. Or you can say that they're absolutely gorgeous and they'll still tell you that they're not, or
Right.
that, or does this just make my butt look fat, or the
Yeah,
typical
right.
stupid things that are
Hmm.
said. No, it doesn't. Yet you look amazing. No, I don't. You're just saying that.
Yeah,
It's just a constant negative response back to you, and then over time, it makes you just not want to say anything anymore.
right.
Over the years, it doesn't really matter what I say right now
Yeah,
because it's not, it doesn't help anyways. It doesn't do anything.
yeah.
So
But it
that's why you
also
have
builds
to.
a wall like within
It
yourself, I
does.
feel like, because you're just like, you can't love properly when someone can't receive love. And so you're
Yeah.
at your limit. Like, I can't do any more for this person. And when you agree to share your life with someone, because I see it. I see on, times that my husband doesn't feel good about himself. And we all go through that.
Yeah. No, we do.
If he's not feeling good, I'm like, everything I say is just like, it doesn't matter. So I could see that and I recognize that. And I'm like, all right, he has to figure out what it's going to take for him to feel good right now. I can't fix this. And it's the same thing for him. If I don't feel good about myself, there's not a fucking thing he could say. It's going to be me taking that massive responsibility to say, okay, how can I feel good? And I feel like in any relationship, if you want this healthy, calm relationship, no more toxic bullshit, no more throwing around narcissism bullshit, like you have to get to a point where you feel good standing alone.
Yeah.
Like I wake up and I'm like, all right, do I feel good today? Do I feel good? Do I feel confident? What do I need? I had a lazy ass weekend, extra mile on the treadmill. Like what is going to make me feel good right now? Because it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if I feel frumpy, if I just laid on the couch for 2 days and ate like shit. If Ben comes down, he's like, wow, you're hot as fuck. I'm gonna be like, dude,
That's what we do as husbands, though. I do it to Jenny
right,
all the time.
right.
She'll come out in her pajamas, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're just flannel pajamas and a top, and I'm like,
What
dang, you
flannel
look
pajamas?
good.
Get it,
She's,
girl.
what?
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. And as long as we're taking care of ourselves and we're doing the things that make us feel good, then cool. That's a great compliment. We're going to like feel good about that. But if every single
Mhm.
day, if I never did anything to make myself feel good and every single day I depended on Benjamin to come down and say something to me, and even if he did or didn't, it wouldn't matter. And every day I dig myself deeper in that hole, he's going to fucking be exhausted. Like that is
Mhm.
dead weight. That is just like
It
fucking
is.
heavy. And
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, we have the conversation sometimes. I'm like, when we don't feel good, we're not good to anybody. We're snappy with
Yeah.
our kids, we're snappy with our spouses. And I just feel like it is this is another,
Coworkers, all
yes,
that.
we need to
Yeah.
do a whole episode on this. So I guess I'm going to take the note. Every single episode we get a new episode idea, but we'll do self-esteem in relationships. I have to write the note, you guys, because I have squirrel brain and I will forget. But I do think it's important that you feel good about yourself because it's exhausting either way. So if you're someone who's like, Brandon, I just survived a narcissistic relationship, I'm rebuilding myself, then I want you to really focus on your identity, core
Yeah.
values, ethics. Who the fuck are you? Strip away the husband, strip away the kids. I know who the fuck I am. Take it all away. Do I want to be that person without kids? I'm still dealing with that. Okay. I'm hoping grandkids will fill the gap, but I'll be able
With
to
the
stand
babies.
apart from all of that. And I think that is the most important thing for you to do. Can you stand alone? Like, who the fuck is Will without a wife and kids? Who is that guy?
Yeah.
That's the foundation you want to build on.
Yeah.
So, any other words of wisdom you want to give our people out here?
Words, words of wisdom.
Words of
Yeah.
wisdom.
So, going back to the narcissism thing, topic, I should say, not thing. Um, Hold your own. The best thing is to find out who you are. Like we said, know who you are, stand
Yeah.
by who you are, and carry that strength through it.
Yep.
Don't be used. Don't be manipulated. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize it, and stick up for yourself. And if that's the kind of toxic relationship that then you're in, then run.
Run. Stop ignoring the flags, dummy.
Yeah, yeah.
They're there.
So they're there. They're there.
All right, you guys, if you
So
feel called out, if you feel seen, if you feel convicted or suddenly understood why your last relationship felt like psychological hell, good, because that means you're healing. Okay. Please remember, recognizing narcissistic patterns isn't about diagnosing people, it's just about protecting your peace. And it's about rebuilding your core identity, your ethics, your values, so that you're not stuck in the same cycle with a different face. So
Mhm.
if something in this conversation hit you, I want you to sit with it. I want it to unclog the lies that you've been believing. And if you're dealing with this right now, bitch, you are not fucking crazy. You have just been conditioned to doubt yourself. Before we get out of here, again, just a reminder, you guys get your omega blood tested now. Your brain, your mood, your hormones, your inflammation, all of this is impacting your relationships. You cannot show up healthy. You cannot show up like we're talking about feeling good about yourself if your cells are screaming. I want you to stop guessing. I want you to test and I want you to fix yourself on a cellular level and you'll be able to watch your whole life shift. Will and I are going to be here every week to help you navigate the messy parts of love with, you know, the guy and the girl perspectives so that you're not walking blind. If you love this episode, please share it with someone who needs to hear the truth without the sugarcoating bullshit. Okay. Subscribe. Make sure you guys leave a review. Share, share, share. Send it to your group chat, whatever you got to do. Okay. Man, we would have a great audience if we did get all your ex-wives to listen, though. Maybe you should should send it to them. Damn.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Where's the stupid screen? All right. Yeah, I know I would love to hear the comments. That would be great. It's fine. I've been
How
through
fun
enough.
would it be to start like a live group and do a group chat of like all the tea? Like, you know, the
What an
bachelorette
asshole
and shit,
Will
when they
Will
spill
is,
the
and
tea at the end of the episode, I would please, I'd be here for it, but I also I would defend my buddy. Okay. I know who Will is at his core. And no matter what anybody says to me, I don't care if you've been married to him for 15 years, he's not the guy that you say he is to me, or obviously to his wife either. So, build a bridge, get over it. We love you guys. We'll catch you next time on both sides of the mic. Okay. Love you guys.
peace out.